This masterpiece of engineering behind me is 1,000 feet long and 126 feet high, and it is the highest and longest aqueduct made of cast iron in the world. Find out what it's called and where I am in just a moment. On today's show, I'm setting out to find a working property for a couple who run their own business. And at first, the enthusiasm takes a bit of time to get going.
It's, well, yes, interesting.
But then their reactions are almost off the scale.
I'm going to shock you here now. 9.5.
Oh! Wowie, wowie. Today we're in northeast Wales, and this is the Pont Cysylltu Aqueduct, which amazingly was designed back in 1795 by Thomas Telford as part of a very ambitious scheme to join the rivers Dee and the Mersey. Now, the whole project took about 10 years and £47,000 in their money, which is about £50 million in today's money, and they never quite finished the whole complex, but they did finish this very impressive stretch, and over 5,000 canal boats still cross it to this day. And it's going to be a very for today's house hunting couple and find out what's on their wish list. John and Sally run a forestry business and have been married for almost 40 years. They've been in their 4-bedroom home in Shrewsbury, Shropshire, for 6 years. But it's the business that's providing the main impetus for their 10th house purchase.
Since we've moved here, our family business has changed direction. And so we're in commercial forestry, and we need to have land, and we need to have 2 or 3 acres around our home.
We need space around the property to store rather large machinery, and if we go to a place in the country, we will immediately turn to renewables, and obviously wood is our business, and we would heat it with wood. It's quite simple.
So a renewable forever home set in a couple of acres is what this couple are after. And naturally, they'd like to be near some woodland too.
Well, we do a lot of work in North Wales forests, so on the outskirts of Chester, on the Welsh side of Chester, in Denbighshire and Flintshire, that's really where we want to move to.
And if they have a chance to relax, there are pursuits, old and new, they'd like to spend time on.
We already like walking with the dog. One thing I would like to do in the country, I quite like doing craft work, and I do craft work with the local school where my grandchildren go, and I'd like to learn to throw pottery, make pottery.
One of the interesting aspects of the move is to gear up a little bit more for my hobby, which is sailing. And the latest acquisition sailing-wise is an Australian design trimaran, which is quite portable, and I can bring it home and work on it in the winter.
They've got a pretty substantial list of preferences for the new property, inside and out.
I don't think we'd consider living in a house with low beams so that you've got to bend your head, or houses which are very old.
What we need in our next home be 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a large study for John, a good spacious entrance hall, a large kitchen dining room, big enough to put a range in, and somewhere that we can put in a wood burner, so we need a chimney.
The land really needs to have a couple of buildings on, like a Dutch barn or workshop, so that we can service our harvesting equipment as and when, and store our boat in the winter.
Just one last thing to check out, and that's how much money they'd like to spend.
Our maximum budget is £550,000.
John and Sally would like us to concentrate our house search to the west of Chester, in the Welsh counties of Flintshire and Denbighshire. We've got some fantastic houses in store for our buyers, and as usual, they'll need to guess the price before I reveal it. Our final option is, of course, our mystery house, which aims to challenge their preconceptions about their perfect home. Morning, guys.
Morning, Alistair.
Morning, Alistair.
Beautiful morning here in North East Wales.
Certainly is.
Do you know this area very well?
We were married in this area.
Really?
Yeah,
Ah, so it's like a coming home.
it is.
It is a little, yes.
And what are the qualities that you're looking for?
We'd like a little bit of land, Alistair, up to about 3 acres, not too much more. A nice building, Dutch barn would be great.
Right.
But as far as the house is concerned, I think Sally will have the say on that.
I want a cosy home. I want a home with soul. And I want to know that it's going to be ours forever.
Sure.
I shall know quite quickly, Alistair.
Right. Well, maybe they say that you can tell in the first few seconds.
Yes.
Well, it's a beautiful day for property shopping, so let's go. Follow me.
Can't wait.
For a maximum budget of £550,000, John and Sally are looking for a house with 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, an office for John to run the business, a kitchen large enough for Sally's range cooker, a wood burner, and up to 3 acres of land with outbuildings for machinery maintenance and boat storage. We've travelled 17 miles from Chester, close to Ruthin, the county town of Denbighshire, located in the Vale of Clwyd. The church here dates back to 1310, and there are amenities such as a regular market for local produce, as well as a post office and a friendly traditional inn. Our first property is 3 miles outside Ruthin and is set in over 2.5 acres of land, with splendid views along the western slopes of the Clwydian Hills. Here we are, house number 1.
Well,
It's a beautiful spot, isn't
it
it?
certainly is, Alistair. It's fantastic.
Yeah, amazing.
And this is the house I want to show you. As you can see, it's a barn conversion.
Yeah,
It's rather attractive. It's lovely stone.
it's very
and
interesting.
It's, well, yes, interesting, but on the small side.
A bit small.
Yes.
While this property may not look spacious from the outside, but appearances can be deceiving, as they'll find when they step through the front door. So we come into this really nice hallway. If you can shut the door, we'll go straight through into the
Very spacious.
kitchen.
Oh, yes. That's rather nice. It doesn't really feel like a barn conversion at all.
No, it doesn't.
Oh,
No,
it just
no.
looks like feels like a modern kitchen. And I can see a space to put a range cooker in.
There is a range, yes.
Which
you
is
could put in
quite
your own
essential
range
for
if
me.
you wanted.
Yes, I like it.
Nice
I like
big
it.
travertine floors.
Love the floor. And I like the view of the cows through the window too.
So, you know, we were talking about getting the first feel in the first 10 seconds. Is it,
I don't know yet. It's a nice cosy feel.
we haven't ruled it out in the first
Not
10
yet.
seconds.
No.
With space for the range cooker a big tick for Sally, and those stunning views a plus for both of them, we're bypassing the dining room to have a look at the equally cosy sitting room.
Well, again, a lovely view.
Yeah.
Lovely, and French windows. I mean, this is half the size of our present sitting room.
Right.
And we do like a bit of space round us, don't we? But it's...
It's not vast, it's not roomy and cavernous.
It could be cosy.
It could be,
It's
yes.
definitely going to be cosy.
Yes. It's another word that we keep using, but it's cosy.
Well, it is a word that certainly fits this house. Also on the ground floor is a study, and the hallway definitely has the spaciousness that Sally likes. Upstairs there are 3 bedrooms, a bright double room for guests, along with a good-sized single room. And there's a large bathroom too, but we're heading for where they could be sleeping. This is the master bedroom.
This is a nice bedroom. It's got 3 aspects.
Yep.
4, 5.
5 quintuple aspects.
Yes. It's really, really nice.
It's a really lovely bedroom, actually. Yeah.
Outside continues to deliver, with plenty of land on offer for all their forestry business needs. In total, there's half an acre of gardens and 2 acres of paddock, with space for a large outbuilding, although this may require permission from the local county council. There's also a large garage where they could store their boat. But what I wanted to surprise them with is the area that sits above the garage. Come on in, because then there's this.
Well, that's a surprise.
Fully kitted out above the garage.
Yes.
So you've got a little bathroom in there,
Right.
and storage here. And I thought this would make a lovely office.
It certainly would.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's something nice about going to work, even though it's, you know,
Yes.
you're working at home.
John's worked at home all our married life. I'm quite taken with this.
Well, I'm glad they're pleased with this part of the property, but the outside is the all-important factor. So I think we should discuss the land. So you would use this field to store your bits?
Yeah, I would. And I'd see whether we could put a building up just behind me. on the boundary.
Great. So that would be enough space for you, do you think?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So how much do you think this package is on the market for?
I would say 480.
480, OK.
Yeah.
I would say 500.
OK, so it's a little bit between. It's actually on the market for 495. So you were closer. At £495,000, this property is well within their budget, offering a large kitchen with room for a range cooker, 3 bedrooms, self-contained office space for John, a garage for storing their boat, and over 2.5 acres of land for business use. I'm a convert to the Vale here. It's a beautiful spot.
Glad to hear it.
Good. Let's go and see house number 2.
Right.
The Church of St Matthew is the oldest parish church in the Flintshire town of Buckley. Built in 1822, it was updated in the early 1900s, around the same time as the North Wales Association of Church Bell Ringers was founded in Bangor, Gwynedd. I've come to meet expert campanologist Jeff Parting, who's been bell ringing since he was 13 years old, and he's going to teach me more about this rather unique art. The church has a dozen bell ringers, but only 6 to 8 are needed at any one time.
Good morning. This is Bernard. He's the master of the tower.
Master of the tower? You're the captain of the tower, you're the master of the tower.
Right. Well, if I just explain to you how it works.
8
bells up there, yes. And when you pull the bell, it turns through 360 degrees. The stay hits what we call a slider under there, and that stops it going any further. So when we pull the bell down again like this, it comes over that way.
So each ring is a ring on both ways, ring going up and a ring going down.
Handstroke and backstroke, we call it.
When ringing, the best method is to allow the weight of the bell to do most of the work. You give the rope a sharp pull to start it on its journey down and keep it as straight as possible.
That's the pace that we would be ringing at if we've got all the 8 going.
So it's time for me to try my hand at the campanologist's art.
I pull, up, down, and catch.
Oh!
Don't look up.
Don't look up, don't look up.
Don't look up. Straight down.
It's going a bit faster than it was before. Hey! I rather enjoyed that. But for now, it's time to return to our house hunt. We've travelled 16 miles from Chester to the Flintshire market town of Kairois. It has a church with a late 13th century tower and nave, as well as day-to-day essentials such as a pharmacy, a post office, and a traditional pub set in a Grade 2 listed 16th century building. Just down the road in the old mining village of Lixham is property number 2, a 1990s build that's been recently remodelled. So, here we are, house number 2.
Well, that's rather nice, Alistair.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yes.
Big smiles on your
Yes.
faces, that's good. Quite a different offering. This is a much more modern property.
Right.
It's actually just 20 years old.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very good. 7 out of 10 so far, and we're only outside, so you're in the right direction there, Alistair.
Oh, well, that's high praise coming from you. I know those things don't come easily.
No, they don't.
Let's get inside while the compliments are flowing from Sally, and I've got a feeling she's going to love what she sees. So, here we come. So let's go straight here into the sitting room.
What a fantastic room. It's light.
Nice pair of French doors there and 3 aspects of light coming in.
It's what I would call a bonny room.
A bonny room.
Yes.
Ah, excellent.
Yes.
And a proper fire here,
Yes.
so that's...
Could we put a wood burner in there, do you think,
Yeah,
Alistair?
of course. So you're getting a good vibe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, cautious, I can see you're like...
Careful. Yes.
Careful. A little panting there. Could this be the one?
Could be. Could be, yes.
Well, I think I know how to change could be into will be. I want to go straight in here.
Spacious.
This is your kitchen.
Oh,
Bit bigger than the last one, isn't it?
it certainly is. It certainly is, yes. I could do things in here, Alistair.
Yeah?
I can see a nice range cooker over there, and eating here,
Yeah?
cooking. Yes. What do you think, John?
I think it's excellent. Excellent.
Well, the really great thing about this kitchen is, if you look behind you, we're not going to go in there, but there's a snug, which gets lots of lovely afternoon light, so you can have your tea. You've also got this outside room, so you can bring the dogs in there, the boots and everything. And in here, all your white goods, utility room.
Wonderful. That is good.
So sealed off. So, points?
I'm going to shock you here now. A 9.5.
Oh! Zowie, wowie. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
While the going's good, we're heading upstairs to see if this house can keep scoring highly. And there's 4 very good-sized bedrooms up here. 2 bright double rooms for guests, and a neat twin room with wooden flooring, all of which share a family bathroom with a shower cubicle. Then we come to a very impressive main bedroom, which is complete with an ensuite shower room. Come from over here, you get a view of the full extent of your master suite.
Goodness me. I can see an ensuite.
Yep, you've got an ensuite.
Thank you. And all this lovely storage for shoes.
Yeah.
We're coming up to a 10 again.
Oh.
Towards it. Not quite, but we're nearly there.
Push the 10
Alistair.
boundary.
Nearly.
I'm really delighted that Sally is so enthused about this property, but I know exactly what could push her rating up even higher. And it's on the way outside to the garden. Wow.
Oh, a nice
Nice dining room.
separate dining room.
And then this. Step in.
Alistair, you'll get it's just getting better and better, isn't it?
This is a lovely big dining room, big size, and it sweeps into this beautiful conservatory.
And it's a nice shaped conservatory,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yes.
Well, this is what runs all the way down. It's separated there by those doors, but
Yeah.
actually that on the other side is a continuation of the conservatory, and that's the doggy utility.
That's an excellent idea, isn't it? Well, this is another bonny room. That's all I can
And
say.
I'm coming to appreciate the Bonnie in your lexicon is like amazing in everybody else's.
Yes.
I think we've almost got a sale here, and the outside could seal the deal. A short walk from the house is the self-contained annex, which has plenty of space for that office, and it has a wood burner too, very bonny. Along with a well-equipped kitchen, it also provides extra accommodation in the form of a double bedroom with a handy bathroom. Behind it there are some outbuildings, which might work as storage for wood or the boat. And in the paddock there's enough space to carry out maintenance work. Away from the business, there's also a patio area for leisure. OK, well, I suppose the crunch is how much does it cost?
Well, I'm going to go in somewhere around about, say, 530.
What about you, Sally?
I'm going to go for exactly the same as the first one. 500.
500.
Yes.
Well, in this instance, Sally, you are exactly right. It's
Wow.
on at just £1 or £2 under £500,000, 499,950. And seems that it gets a lot higher rating.
Oh, yes. This, if I might say it, this one has gobsmacked me.
Oh, God, wow. Well within budget at a shade under £500,000, this bonny property gives them absolutely everything they've dreamed of. A lovely social reception space with log burner potential, and a kitchen with range cooker, 4 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, along with a separate annex that could serve as business premises. Outside, there's also 2.5 acres of land with outbuildings. Good vibes?
Yes.
Excellent.
That's a good note to finish the day on.
It is.
A perfect end to our first day of house hunting as the sun sets over the spectacular scenery of the Welsh countryside. I've noticed on this series that the Mystery House has often helped us out of a sticky situation, sort of saved the day at the last minute. But on this show, I think we've already given John and Sally exactly what they want, so they don't need saving. So the Mystery House for us is a bit more of a punt. I mean, it still has all the beautiful Welsh landscape, but it has one thing they're not so keen on. A mere 6 miles from Chester is the Flintshire town of Mold, a busy community that grew up around its Norman castle. Its attractions include a 15th century church, as well as the usual high street amenities such as pubs and shops aplenty. A couple of miles southwest of Mold, close to the village of Llanferris, is our mystery house, an 18th century cottage lying at the end of its own private track and surrounded by open countryside. So this is their mystery house. The kernel of the house is from 1799. What are your first impressions?
Quite small. Pretty.
Quaint.
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 What does that decode as?
Interesting.
Oh, that's even worse. Quaint and interesting, they strike fear into an estate agent's heart.
No. It is though, quaint, yeah. And the view is splendid.
I don't know, it's one of those you don't know till you get inside, do you, really?
Well, I hope Sally is right, and the enthusiasm of yesterday returns once they get inside this quirky property, which is a mix of old alongside the modern they prefer. I'm going to go through into here, straight into the most modern part of the house. This is from 2002, and this extension actually even more recently.
Very individual, isn't it? It's very, very...
How about you, John?
Yeah, I see it as a Sally house. There's, you know, little nooks and crannies everywhere, and it's, yes, it's very homely.
Do you see it as a John house?
I do, actually, yeah. I mean, the fantastic view out of the window here.
And there are more spectacular views of the Clwyd Valley from the beautiful conservatory area, which should appeal to Sally. But we're here to challenge their preconceptions about period properties. So let's move on to the older part of the house. This is actually the original cottage. It was just this width, very small. And the present owner dug out the original hearth, and they've turned this into the snug, so the snug heart of the home.
I'd find it too snug.
Too snug. And John?
I know I quite like the room, actually, because in the winter I could imagine the heat coming out of that, and everything would be locked down. And
It would be a winter room, you're right, John. It would be cosy and comfortable and very warm.
John's trying his best, but maybe the open-plan family room with dining area and kitchen will get a stronger reaction from Sally.
Yes, now this is an improvement.
Oh, your face is lit up.
Yes, this is lovely.
You have to put your range in.
Well, I was just looking over there to see if there was it's an outside wall, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I could put a range on there.
What do you think about this room, John?
I think it's wonderfully light, and it's a homely room, definitely. Yeah.
And considering that it was really just that room next door initially, and all of these extensions, I think they've been tremendously well done.
Clever,
Yeah.
clever.
With Sally considering where to put her range cooker, things are definitely looking up for this lovely property. And I think upstairs won't disappoint. Here there are 3 very good-sized double bedrooms, all dual aspect with amazing unspoilt views, some of which can be seen through the unique round feature windows. There's also the family bathroom. But we're heading to the room that John and Sally could be calling their own. This has its own ensuite. And, of course, upstairs everything revolves around these amazing views.
You certainly do. No, it's a nice little room, although it looks old and nothing seems to be falling to bits. It looks quite good.
Obviously, yesterday was such a big hit. Quite a hard act to follow, but...
It is really, I'm afraid to say it is.
Just one part of this property left, and that's the 1.5 acres of land that surround it. As well as a garden, there's a huge amount of yard and parking space for machinery maintenance. There's also a whole host of outbuildings, including a double garage for the boat, open front units for wood storage, a summer house, and a small timber-built office. OK, so the big question, how much does it cost?
I would put a price on 400.
I'm going to go for rather low and say $399.
It's actually on the market for 454,000.
Good Lord. Yeah.
So quite a bit higher than your guess. For £454,000, this house, in its idyllic setting, is well within their budget. It offers a wood burner in the cosy lounge, potential for a range in the kitchen, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and almost 2 acres of land with outbuildings for storage and office use. Let's regroup, think about all the houses we've seen. Have a cup of tea. This way. Hello, guys. You found the nice warm fire. It's been a bit nippy here in Wales, hasn't it?
It has.
let's review, shall we? What do you think of the first one?
I think the house as such wouldn't have appealed to Sally, but obviously the location was fantastic. But the biggest killer of that was the distance from Chester.
I would like to live near, much nearer to Chester, so we've got to have a house that I really like.
And the second house, now this is a bit more impressive.
Purpose-built house, access for awkward vehicles, big vehicles, perfect in many, many ways.
I still think it's fantastic. It's a lovely house. There's not much maintenance to do in the future. It's got all we need. It's got everything for John, hasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's not too far from Chester.
What about the Mystery House? Because that was a bit of a curveball in the sense that it was a period property.
When I arrived, I thought, good grief. But it got better. And had we been a lot younger, it would have been very much a John and Sally house, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But the access killed it.
We wouldn't get lorries up there, but the view was outstanding of the back of the Berwins and Moor Vammer. Excellent.
You talked a lot about the Sally and John house. Do you have an idea what that might be?
Probably quite near to the house, number 2 house, yesterday. Quite near, wasn't
Perhaps
it?
it is the number 2 house.
Could well be. There's a really good chance, Alistair.
Well, fingers crossed. I really hope that you like the second house on the second viewing and then you move in.
Thank you, Alistair.
We've had a
enjoyed
lovely,
it.
lovely time.
Great fun.
I'm truly hoping that we have found a Sally and John house because they're a lovely couple and they have picked a stunning part of the country to live in. And if you've enjoyed our property hunting exploits in the UK, then make sure you join us next time for more Escape to the Country. Although John and Sally loved our second property, they eventually decided it was a journey too far from Chester, and so their house hunt continues. And if you would like to escape to the country in Northern Ireland, Scotland, Wales or England, and you need our help, why not apply online at bbc.co.uk/beonashow. This masterpiece of engineering behind me is 1,000 feet long and 126 feet high, and it is the highest and longest aqueduct made of cast iron in the world. Find out what it's called and where I am in just a moment. On today's show, I'm setting out to find a working property for a couple who run their own business. And at first, the enthusiasm takes a bit of time to get going.
It's, well, yes, interesting.
But then their reactions are almost off the scale.
I'm going to shock you here now. 9.5.
Oh! Wowie, wowie! Today we're in North East Wales, and this is the Pontcysaltyn Aqueduct, which amazingly was designed back in 1795 by Thomas Telford as part of a very ambitious scheme to join the rivers Dee and the Mersey. Now, the whole project took about 10 years and £47,000 in their money, which is about £50 million in today's money, and they never quite finished the whole complex, but they did finish this very impressive stretch, and over 5,000 canal boats still cross it to this day. And it's going to be a very... today's house hunting couple and find out what's on their wish list. John and Sally run a forestry business and have been married for almost 40 years. They've been in their 4-bedroom home in Shrewsbury, Shropshire for 6 years. But it's the business that's providing the main impetus for their 10th house purchase.
Since we've moved here, our family business has changed direction. And so we're in commercial forestry, and we need to have land, and we need to have 2 or 3 acres around our home.
We need space around the property to store rather large machinery, and if we go to a place in the country, we will immediately turn to renewables, and obviously wood is our business, and we would heat it with wood. It's quite simple.
So a renewable forever home set in a couple of acres is what this couple are after. And naturally, they'd like to be near some woodland too.
Well, we do a lot of work in North Wales forests, so on the outskirts of Chester, on the Welsh side of Chester, in Denbighshire and Flintshire, that's really where we want to move to.
And if they have a chance to relax, there are pursuits, old and new, they'd like to spend time on.
We already like walking with the dog, One thing I would like to do in the country, I quite like doing craft work, and I do craft work with the local school.